Hey, what's up? This is Chosen with Raid Shadow Legends guides and infographics, and this is going to be a special one because we have got a champion here that basically every single raid player is going to want to build, and also a specific build that everyone is going to want to take advantage of because we've got the best brutal XP campaign farmer in the game, and it is a rare champion in the demon spawn called Fellhound. So in this video, I will provide you with an HD infographic, and we'll talk about the minimum stat thresholds that you need to get to make this build work. Let's get into it. Alrighty, so first of all, right out the gate, I wanted to say a thank you to all of you watching this. This has been a blast. This has been a lot of fun working on a collaboration channel project with HWZ and Cold Brew and Scratch, and working with people that are passionate about getting amazing content out there. And the videos have been doing really well, and there's been a lot of support for the project so far. So I really appreciate all of you that have subscribed and have shown us love as we continue to produce this. We're going to keep cranking these out like 10 or 15 a week, going over the best champions and the best builds that you want to take advantage of. So I just wanted to say thank you to all of you really quickly. So, okay, as we dive into talking about Fellhound, first things first, I will provide the HD infographic down below in the video description and the pinned comment if you would like to navigate over to have that on your end. I'll link to the page where we keep all of the most important infographics on our website. But okay, as we dive into doing some analysis here on Fellhound, so he does have one interesting thing about his kit, and that is that he scales with both defense and attack on his ability that does damage here on the A1. So for base stats, we do want to pay attention to both defense and attack, which is super rare, but his base stats are pretty low. I mean, he is a rare champion, and the fact that his speed is a little bit low isn't really a big deal because if you're building him as a campaign farmer, you only need like 105 speed and you're fine. So the cool thing is that the build is super low speed to have the best brutal campaign farmer in the game. And then for his abilities, obviously the thing we are going to be taking advantage of the most is this AoE A1, and it has a super fast animation speed. That's what makes him such a good campaign farmer. But you do also get a little bit of utility out of him if you wanted to use him in faction wars or something in like a beginner type team. I could see that. Maybe if you want to use him in secret rooms or something, in a stun set and go a different route, like a high speed stun set, he could do some CC here on the A1 while also doing a little bit of decreased speed. The rest of his kit is kind of meh. I mean, he does book up to a 2-turn cooldown of reflect damage, so you'll get some beginner type niche usage in the Fire Knight to help you break down that shield, but you will probably replace him pretty quickly as you develop your account. And then the A3 here, you get a 3-turn cooldown of block damage, but mainly what we're going to be talking about is his mid-game and end-game viability in being an amazing, brutal campaign farmer. So this is my Fellhound that I use as an endgame player to farm 12-3 brutal. And if you want to see the stats, I can show you that right out the gate here. Let me go ahead and remove that. If you want to screenshot the stats that I personally use, that's what I am going to be doing. But it is also on the infographic that we have down there. If you want to be able to pull that up at any time, I'll have that linked for you. And that's why the ranges are so small. You've got the defense, and it's highlighted in green, of the 3.5 to 4K, and then the attack of 3K to 3.4K. If you're kind of in that range and you're critting every time with that 100% crit rate, and then you're also doing about 225% crit damage, you should be pretty close to about what you need, and you'll only need about 105 speed, so you can really stack up some of those other stats as well, and it makes it a little bit easier to hit those thresholds. So yeah, in terms of picking out the gear, you can go with like a crit rate set or something to make it a little bit easier to hit that crit rate threshold, and just kind of mix and match your best just glass cannon damage gear. He's not going to be taking any damage. You want to go boom, 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 and take down all 3 campaign waves in one swoop of his A1. As far as the skills and the booking process, really all you're looking for is going to be the damage here on the A1. So you can literally almost get away with booking him with 2 books, because on most accounts, we're not going to really be worried about his A2 and his A3. We just want him to be a campaign farmer for us typically. So if you get lucky and you grab the level 2 and level 3 damage here on the A1, feel free to consider it good to go if you just plan on using him in the campaign. And then for the masteries, remember those are on that infographic if you want to see those at any time. But a couple important things here to note on the masteries. We don't really need the support tree on him. Obviously, we could get like the lore of steel would be nice, but not really going to be super impactful. What you want to get is the flawless execution. I know Helm Smasher is an amazing passive or mastery, but we want it to be consistent. We want him to be one-shotting every single wave of the campaign every single time, and Helm Smasher is not something we can count on 100% of the time. So we definitely want to take the flawless execution. We also want to get the kill streak here to get the extra damage and make it more consistent, and then also the first hit on each enemy, obviously going to be huge, along with crit damage and some of the other stuff here, the crit rate. So the offense tree, really good with a few of those different nodes here on this build. Also, one thing to note about trying to farm the campaign super fast with a champion like this when you're getting down to like 6-second campaign runs is to go into the options and remember to turn on the frame rate to unlimited. That's how you see some of these people get these 5-second campaign runs. If you're on mobile and you're doing like 30 FPS or 60 FPS, you might see your runs be like 6 or 7 seconds compared to somebody who's on Plarium Play or BlueStacks or something, and they've got their frames at unlimited and they're able to just do that little bit faster and get through the campaign in like 5 seconds. So, okay, this is what it is going to look like in action here with Fellhound being the best brutal campaign farmer. His AI will go ahead and prioritize that A1. You go boom, 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 and look at that, a 5-second run because we set the frames to unlimited, and I am playing on the Plarium Play PC client, and I've got my Fellhound built up enough to hit those stat thresholds, and boom, there it is, 5-second god tier campaign runs. And then in terms of grading him as a champion, we do have him obviously on the website and we have him graded and all that. But I mean, you can see like his stats here. You've got the progression. It's all right, not great, but he's got an 86 for endgame because he is the best brutal campaign farmer in the game. His other stats are going to be pretty underwhelming, and your account is probably going to grow to a point where you're not really using Fellhound very much at some point as you get into the mid game, but he will always have a role to be at least viable as a god tier brutal campaign farmer that you can use. And there's nothing wrong with farming brutal even in the super end game because you can get mystery shards from brutal and you can't get them in nightmare, and those mystery shards are going to help you round out some of those champion chase, summon rush type of events and scoop up some rewards. So that is why Fellhound has such amazing end game value, even as kind of a pretty meh rare champion. So that will do it for me on this Fellhound Ultimate guide and graphic video. I appreciate all of you. Remember to subscribe on your way out if you enjoy the daily Raid Shadow Legends champion guides. I will see you soon in the next video. Have a good rest of your day. Peace.